If you have never clearly known your spiritual gifts, it is because you have not yet dared to believe that what you feel in the stillness of your soul is real. You've waited for a sign, a voice, a lightning bolt, but all the while the whisper within has been speaking, waiting for your recognition. You do not need to find your gift. You are the gift, and all that you are is already within you, seeking expression through the fabric of your imagination. The world teaches you to look outward, to search for evidence, credentials, confirmations. But the law of life is inner causation. You become aware of your spiritual gifts not by chasing them, but by assuming they are already yours. To know your gift, you must first dwell in the feeling of being one who walks in purpose. It is not arrogance to assume what God has already placed within you. It is obedience to the truth of your being. Have you ever felt a pull towards something that made no sense to your logical mind, but stirred something ancient within you, that flicker, that tug, that is not random? That is spirit nudging you back to remembrance, and the more you honor those nudges with belief and embodiment, the clearer your gifts will become. You do not awaken to power. You awaken to the truth that you are power. The gift is not a thing you do. It is a quality of being. It is the essence that flows through your speech, your presence, your silence. Your spiritual gifts do not shout, they resonate. And that resonance only grows when you stop doubting what you feel. You are not trying to become anything. You are remembering who you've always been. Sit with that. Imagine yourself as the one who already knows, already sees, already heals, already creates, and then watch as the world bends to meet that assumption. Not because it changed, but because you did. All spiritual gifts come alive in the field of belief. If you say, I am not gifted, then that becomes the shape of your experience. But if you dare to say, I am anointed, I am sent, I am endowed with divine intelligence, then all of life begins to echo that statement. You teach your mind to recognize your gifts by living from the end, not waiting but being. The moment you accept that your feeling is the voice of God, you will never again question your gift. You will speak when moved, create when stirred, rest when drawn inward, and it will all be divine. The evidence will follow, the people will come, the confirmation will appear, but it all begins in that silent decision to believe what has been whispering to you all along. You will never fully perceive what is within you until you stop searching as though it is hidden outside of you. You have been conditioned to expect the grand, the external sign, the prophet's call or the laying on of hands. But spirit moves in subtler ways. It whispers in your longings, in the gifts you belittle, in the desires you keep brushing aside as wishful thinking. These are not fantasies. They are signals from the infinite, guiding you back to the core of your divine inheritance. Every time you discount your inner urge, you delay the unfolding of the very gift you were sent here to reveal. You must come to a point where you trust your imagination more than your history, more than your upbringing, more than your fears, because your spiritual gift is revealed not when you have more knowledge, more training, more perfection, but when you simply believe what arises from the secret place of your own consciousness. It is the Father within you doing the work. It is not effort that brings it forward. It is alignment. To align is to say yes, not a yes of striving, but a yes of surrender. You say, yes, I am what I have been told I could be. Not because someone told you with their voice, but because it was written in your spirit before time began. Everything you need to fulfill your divine purpose is already present in seed form. And like all seeds, it does not look like what it will become. The seed of a tree doesn't resemble the tree, but inside it is encoded everything necessary for the towering height, the roots, the branches, the fruit. And so it is with you. You may not yet look like the prophet, the healer, the artist, the teacher, the vessel. But if you dare to imagine yourself as such, to claim it in silence and move from that state, then life has no choice but to mirror it back to you. You must stop waiting for proof. Waiting is a form of denial. It says, I do not yet believe. But the one who knows they are endowed with spiritual gifts moves as if it is already done. They speak from completion, not from hoping. You want to see your gifts in action, then act from the end. If you were already functioning in your gift, how would you feel? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? Let that version of you become your identity. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. Do not confuse humility with hesitation. True humility is obedience to truth, and the truth is, your gift is not yours to hoard or bury beneath layers of doubt. It is yours to embody. There are people whose lives are tied to your obedience, people who will never awaken to their own greatness unless you rise in yours. That is the sacred weight of your calling. It is not about fame or recognition, it is about resonance. You become a tuning fork in the hands of spirit, awakening others simply by vibrating at the frequency of your authentic self. Stop saying, "I don't know what I'm called to do." You do know. You have always known. But the knowing doesn't come with loud explanations. It comes with a stillness, an unshakable pull, a deep familiarity with something that no one taught you. That is the sign, that's the indication. Your spiritual gift is tied to the thing that comes naturally to you, that brings peace, clarity, alignment. The thing that makes time disappear when you do it, or brings tears to your eyes when you imagine it. That's not coincidence, that's your map. And once you recognize even the edge of your gift, you must give yourself to it fully. You must become possessed with it. Let it become your meditation, your movement, your mode of being. Don't ask whether it will work. Don't ask whether others will approve. That is the mind's trap. Instead, ask, what would happen if I lived from this truth, and then do it, not just once, but as a daily devotion. Each day, you assume the identity of the one who is already functioning in the fullness of their spiritual gifts. This is how you awaken it, not through striving, but through assuming and embodying. You assume the state of the gifted one, and from that state, everything begins to take shape. You speak with authority because you are that authority. You walk into rooms and the energy shifts, not because of ego, but because of alignment. You no longer seek validation. You become validation. You become the mirror that reminds others of their own divinity. You must stop measuring your gifts against others. Your gift was never meant to resemble anyone else's. It is not your job to compare. It is your job to express, and what you express will be different, but it will be holy, because it flows from your own divine blueprint. The Creator does not make duplicates. The uniqueness of your spiritual gift is the very proof that you are needed. You are not here to mimic. You are here to manifest. Even your struggles have been forming your gift. Every delay, every heartbreak, every silence was shaping something deeper in you. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. You were being hollowed out to carry something higher. So don't curse the path. Don't regret the detours. All of it was calibration. And now you are ready to see with new eyes, ready to call those things that are not as though they are, ready to walk in the unseen and let it mold the scene. There is no outer ceremony more powerful than the inner vow. You don't need hands laid on you. You need to lay hold of yourself. Right now, you can decree it. Right now, you can step into the image you have long carried in silence. That image is not fantasy, it is revelation. It is memory leaking through the veil of time. You are not inventing it. You are recovering it. The moment you feel it, claim it. Don't hesitate. Say, "This is who I am," and let all your actions flow from that inner claim. And yes, there will be resistance, but that resistance is only the dying echo of your former beliefs. Do not make it personal. Do not let it distract you. Let it confirm that the old is falling away. Your job is to persist in the assumption of the new identity, even when nothing around you has yet changed. That is faith. That is the key. The outer world is slow to catch up, but it always does. Your inner claim is the cause. Everything else is the effect. You were not created to be confused. Confusion is the symptom of disconnection, but you are not disconnected. You are simply out of practice. Start practicing belief. Practice holding the image. Practice living as if it is done. Practice gratitude in advance. When you do, your gift will not only become clear, it will become unavoidable. It will move through you with such ease that you will wonder why you ever doubted. It will become your language, your posture, your rhythm, and others will notice, not because you try to convince them, but because truth always reveals itself. Those who are tuned to truth will be drawn to you, and those who are not will fall away, and you must let them. Do not mourn what leaves when you step into your gift. Everything aligned with your former self must be released to make space for what aligns with your true self. That is not loss, that is pruning. Let go of the need for clarity in every step. Your gift will unfold as you move. You are not given the whole picture because the journey is meant to awaken you. If you knew every detail, you would depend on the map instead of the inner compass. Trust the compass. Trust that your next step will be revealed once you take the current one. That's how spiritual gifts work. They move through trust, and trust is not passive. Trust is movement. Trust is saying yes when fear says no. Trust is choosing to act like it's already done, even when your mind screams otherwise. Your gift lives in that space between doubt and action, where you choose belief despite appearances. That is where the supernatural is born. That is where miracles unfold. That is where you meet your true self, fully alive. So do not wait another day. Do not postpone your unfolding. Everything you need is already coded within you. You have but to believe it, and it will begin to shine through everything you do. Speak it, see it, embody it, and let the world be transformed by the reality of who you are. You must understand, your delay in stepping into your spiritual gifts has never been a lack of ability, but a lack of belief. Not belief in something external, but belief in the power already pulsing through your being. And until you honor that power, until you make space for it in your consciousness, it cannot pour forth. Power respects belief. Spirit flows where it is welcomed. You are the gatekeeper. You decide when the dam breaks open. You've been waiting for permission, but who do you think holds the pen? The permission is yours to give. No one can certify what God has already authored in your spirit. Stop rehearsing the question, am I qualified? You wouldn't have the desire if you weren't already equipped. The presence of desire is the proof of capacity. That thing you can't shake, that calling that revisits you in dreams and stillness, that is not fantasy, that is foreknowledge. Do not confuse unawareness with absence. Just because you have not seen the full unfolding of your gifts does not mean they are not there. You cannot see the roots of a tree, yet they uphold the entire structure. Your spiritual gifts have been growing in secret, hidden but never absent, buried but never dead. Now they are pressing against the shell of your old identity, asking to emerge. It may feel like pressure, confusion, urgency, but it is only birth. You are birthing the truth of who you are. The old self will try to cling. It will whisper its old limitations, remind you of who you used to be, what you failed to do, the moments you missed. But that voice belongs to a version of you that no longer exists. Let it go, let it die. Every spiritual gift requires a death of some kind, a death of the ego, the mask, the illusion, but on the other side of that death is resurrection. On the other side is vision. On the other side is divine expression flowing through a willing vessel. You will never discover your gift by analyzing it into being. You must live it. You must move first. The revelation is in the movement. The anointing is in the obedience. Start where you are with what you know, and dare to act as if it is sacred, because it is. Wash the feet of your own calling with reverence. Cleanse your doubts with faith and show up, even if your voice shakes, even if your knees tremble, even if no one sees you yet. Spirit sees you. Spirit recognizes the shape of its own light moving through you. And if you've ever felt out of place, misunderstood, rejected, it is because you were never made to fit where you were. Your spiritual gift sets you apart. It is not a defect, it is a distinction. Those who are sent ahead must learn the language of silence, the weight of invisibility, the wisdom of being hidden. You weren't being punished. You were being shaped in secret, like a blade in the fire. And now the fire has finished its work. It is time to emerge. You must walk differently now, talk differently, think differently. You are no longer operating from guessing. You are operating from knowing. Even if you don't know the entire plan, you know the presence. You feel the stir, the shift, the invitation to become. Trust that more than the world's applause, trust that more than your past, the old you was good enough for survival. But the real you, the you who moves in divine power, is here for awakening, and once you awaken, you cannot return to sleep. You must carry the fire forward. You are not called to convince. You are called to create. The clarity will come as you move. Each step you take in obedience clears the next. You want to see your spiritual gift. Use it, declare it, stretch into it. Refuse to let the fear of imperfection paralyze you. Mastery is not a prerequisite for purpose. Willingness is. Availability is. Show God you're ready and watch how quickly the doors open. And when they open, don't shrink. Don't apologize for your gift. Don't play small to make others comfortable. You were never meant to blend in. You are the disruption, the reminder, the signal of awakening to those still asleep. Your light will make some turn away. That's not your concern. Your concern is to shine, to stand, to speak, to reveal what has been buried for too long. The gift is not just for you. It is for others. It is a torch passed down through the ages, now placed in your hand. Will you carry it? Will you let it burn? Will you walk into dark places and become the light? This is not about titles. It's not about being known. It's about being true. About becoming so full of your divine design that everything false has no room to remain. You'll find that once you walk in your gift, everything else aligns, resources appear, connections surface, insight deepens, because your gift is magnetic to everything assigned to it. But you cannot attract what belongs to your higher self while living from your lower self. Rise, become, speak, imagine, act. Your alignment is your attraction. What you move in moves toward you, and if you are afraid, good. It means you are touching something real. It means you are no longer asleep. Fear is not the enemy. It is the signal that you are standing on holy ground. Let it pass through you, but do not bow to it. You don't need the absence of fear. You need the presence of faith, and faith says, I will move anyway. I will speak anyway. I will show up as if it's done, and let the world catch up to the vision I carry. The vision is sacred, guard it. Do not share it with those who cannot perceive it. You owe no one an explanation for your awakening. Your gift does not need validation to be real. Let the fruit speak for itself. Let your presence teach what words cannot. Let your walk reveal what your heart has always known. You are chosen, you are sent. You are enough, not someday. Now, let go of the pressure to make it all happen at once. Your gift unfolds in layers. Each season reveals a new depth, a new angle, a new capacity. Trust the pace, trust the unfolding. Don't rush what was designed to be revealed in divine timing. The seed doesn't push to bloom faster, it surrenders to the process. So must you. And remember, your gift is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet presence that heals without speaking. The way you see others, the way you carry peace into a room, the way your words break chains not because of volume, but because of vibration. Don't overlook the subtle. Spirit often moves in whispers, in nudges, in impressions that refuse to leave. Listen, trust, follow, and when doubt returns, as it will, go back to the secret place, the place within where you first felt the call, where you first saw the image, where you first believed it could be real. That place is always open, always alive. Return to it again and again until it becomes your dwelling. Let the truth live in you until the noise of the world loses its power. You are not here to fit into the mold of what others expect. You are here to break the mold, to rewrite the narrative, to awaken the sleeping with your presence. And the only way to do that is to be who you truly are. Unfiltered, unapologetic, undeniable. The time for waiting has passed. The time for becoming is now. You are ready. You always have been. You must begin to walk like it is already true. Speak like it is already done. Think from the place of fulfillment, not from the place of longing. That is the secret. Not to try and reach your gift, but to become it. And becoming is not a matter of external transformation. It is an inward assumption that radiates outward. You assume the posture, the frequency, the identity of the one who knows, and because you know, you no longer question. When you say, "I don't feel ready," understand that readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. The ones who wait to feel ready often never move because feelings follow beliefs. You must believe first, then the feelings adjust, then the world begins to conform, the outer responds to the inner. Always your spiritual gifts have been waiting for you to realize that you are the only one with the authority to activate them. Not a ceremony, not a mentor, not a book, you. Yes, others can help reveal what is dormant, but no one can give you what has been yours since, before the foundation of the world. You were knit together with divine strategy, woven with light, with code, with destiny, and now you are waking up to what has always been. The moment you recognize it, even slightly, you must honor it, feed it, protect it, let it grow, and growth is not instant, it is layered, it is seasonal. But with each act of faith, your gift stretches further into form. You do not need signs to believe. You need belief to produce signs. Signs follow those who walk in the Spirit. They are the outflow, not the requirement. Stop chasing the evidence and become the evidence. Be the proof of what happens when someone surrenders to the divine within. That surrender is not weakness. It is mastery. It is the highest form of power. Because when you surrender to your truth, everything unlike it begins to fall away. And that falling away may feel like loss, but it is only clearing. Everything not aligned with your gift will either transform or exit. Let people misunderstand you. Let the old roles collapse. Let the familiar fade. What is leaving cannot hold what is coming. You are being rebuilt from the inside out. This is not the time to cling. This is the time to expand. Expansion requires space. You cannot expand into a life you are afraid to outgrow. Say goodbye to the smallness, to the pretending, to the performance. Say goodbye to waiting for perfect conditions. Conditions will never be perfect. You must act now with what you have from who you are. That is enough. It has always been enough, and as you do, you will notice something miraculous. You will feel more like yourself than ever before. Not because you have become something new, but because you've removed what was never real. Your spiritual gift does not ask you to become more. It asks you to become you, the most honest, aligned, unmasked version of you. That is the place where power flows. That is the place where purpose ignites. You do not need to fear failure. There is no failure in divine movement, only learning. Every step, even the messy ones, carries revelation. What feels like misstep is often refinement. You are being refined, not punished. You are being honed, not humiliated. The fire you feel is not meant to destroy you. It's burning away what cannot carry the weight of who you're becoming. Let it burn. Stop praying for clarity if you're unwilling to move in mystery. The realm of spirit is not always linear. It's not always logical, but it is always faithful. You will be led, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment. Trust that the same force that called you will guide you. You are not walking alone. You are moving with heaven's rhythm. You are being pulled by a current that predates your birth. And no, not everyone will understand. But they don't have to. Your assignment wasn't given to a crowd. It was given to you. Your spirit knows the way. Your intuition is sacred. Your inner voice is your compass. Do not trade it for the noise of the world. Quiet yourself often. Return to the stillness. There you will hear what cannot be spoken. See what cannot be seen with natural eyes. Your gift was never meant to be caged by fear. Break the cage, let it breathe. Let it stretch its wings. The more you express it, the stronger it becomes. The more you use it, the clearer it gets. Don't wait to feel worthy. Use it now. You become worthy by walking in it. The worthiness is in the willingness. The purity is in the obedience, and obedience is not performance. It is alignment with truth. You are not behind. You are not too late. You have not missed your moment. Divine timing is never early, never late. And now it is your time, not because everything is perfect, but because you are ready to stop pretending you're not, ready to stop shrinking, ready to stop second, guessing what you know in your bones. The knowing is enough, and that knowing will lead you deeper than anything else. You may feel alone on this path, but you are not isolated. You are chosen, and the chosen often walk roads others cannot understand. That is part of the call. You are forging a trail. Pioneers rarely have maps, but you do not need a map when you have a flame. That inner flame will light the next step. Let it guide you. Let it become the fire in your voice, the light in your eyes, the certainty in your presence. You are not waiting for the world to give you a role. You are stepping into what you've always been. That is your authority. That is your divine right. Move from that place, and as you do, remember that your gift is not for show, it's for impact. It's not about appearing spiritual. It's about becoming so authentic, so aligned, that spirit has no obstruction moving through you. Your gift will make room for you, not because you forced it, but because you embodied it. When you show up fully, space is made, opportunities recognize you, doors open not because you knocked, but because your presence declared, I belong here. That is what happens when a person walks in their true nature. The external rearranges to accommodate the internal authority. You must understand the power of declaring who you are, not based on feelings, not based on current circumstances, but based on truth. Speak it aloud daily. Let your own ears hear it. Let your body respond. Say, I am gifted, I am aligned, I am walking in divine power. And when the old thoughts return, answer them. Don't allow them to go unchallenged. They are not facts. They are echoes, and you have the power to silence them with truth. The truth is, you were created with precision. No part of you is accidental. Your personality, your voice, your experiences, your sensitivity, they are not liabilities. They are pieces of the sacred design. Do not curse what Spirit has chosen to use. Do not despise your process. Do not delay your becoming. Your life is not random. Your voice is not wasted. Your path is not without purpose. Every tear you've cried, every unanswered prayer, every closed door, it was all part of the shaping. It was all fertilizer for the gift. Even your mistakes have become medicine. You are not too broken. You are not too much. You are not too far gone. You are exactly where you need to be to rise, right here, right now. This is the ground of activation. This is the soil of becoming. And if you dare to believe it, the unfolding will begin. You will not need to force it. Just stay in agreement, stay in motion, stay in alignment. When you forget, return. When you fall, rise. When you doubt, remember, the gift has not left. The call has not expired. You have not missed the mark. You are being drawn again, because Spirit never stops calling, and now you are listening. So walk forward, not with answers, but with awareness, not with control, but with communion. Move with reverence, speak with fire, love with purity, lead with humility, create with abandon. Your spiritual gift is not a task, it is a river. And now the river is flowing. And now, having heard what your soul already knew, you stand at the threshold, not of something outside you, but something within you. This is not the beginning of your spiritual journey. It is the recognition that it was never paused, never absent, only quiet, waiting for your permission to rise. All that you have sought, clarity, purpose, power, confirmation, has always been closer than breath, embedded in your being, waiting for the moment you would finally believe in yourself the way Spirit has always believed in you. You don't need to strive. You need to remember. You don't need to search. You need to see. See yourself differently. See your history through the lens of destiny. See every strange longing, every moment of being misunderstood, every hidden ache, as divine signals pointing you home. Your spiritual gift is not foreign. It is familiar. It is the ancient language of your being, the echo of eternity wrapped in your human form. So if you have never clearly known your gift, know this: the knowing begins now. Not with a lightning bolt, not with a booming voice, but with the still, quiet choice to believe that you were never left out, that you were never overlooked, that the divine did not skip you when it handed out purpose. That you too were encoded with brilliance, and now you choose to accept it. You may still have questions, good, let them keep you curious. You may still have doubt, that's okay, let it humble you. But don't let either one keep you from beginning. You begin now, not when you feel holy, but when you feel willing. You are not waiting on perfection. You are waiting on nothing. The invitation is open. The light is green. Your soul is saying, it is time. Time to walk in what you carry. Time to shed the fear that has bound you. Time to release the false story of not enough. Time to step boldly into the version of you that has been quietly knocking from the inside. The world is not waiting for someone more polished. It's waiting for someone more true. And that is what your gift demands: truth, your truth. Fully embodied, fully expressed, fully alive. So go. Go not as someone trying to be spiritual, but as someone who finally understands that you already are. Go with trembling if you must, but go. Go with faith, not in some far-off deity, but in the indwelling power that chose you as its vessel. The world is better when you're awake. It is more whole when you take your place. And it is forever changed when one soul dares to remember who they really are. You are that soul. This is that moment. The gift is you, and the time is now.
There is a moment when the unseen becomes seen, when the formless takes form, and what was once only imagined stands before you in full reality. That moment is now. The promise you have held in the depths of your consciousness is on the verge of unfolding. The seed planted in the soil of your mind, watered by your faith and nurtured by your unwavering belief, is pushing through into the visible world. You do not need to beg or struggle, for all things already exist in the realm of the unseen. You are not waiting for something to happen. You are only to align yourself with that which is already yours. The very fact that you have desired it is proof that it is meant for you. Your longing is not a sign of lack, but a whisper from the infinite, calling you to claim what is already prepared. To receive, you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must walk in the conviction that your miracle is not something to come, but something already present. Do not concern yourself with the how or when. These are not yours to manage. The bridge of incidents will unfold naturally, leading you to the very thing your heart has known to be true. The world will bend itself to reflect your inner state, and as you persist in the knowing, reality will conform to the certainty of your imagination. The promise has never been far from you. It is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting only for your recognition. The moment you fully accept it as done, the world will bear witness to its truth. The unseen will take shape, the impossible will become inevitable, and your miracle will no longer be a dream, but your living experience. The moment you accept that creation is finished, that all you seek is already yours, you step into the flow of the inevitable. You no longer struggle, no longer seek validation from the world, no longer look outside yourself for proof. The proof is within you, in the deep and sacred knowing that what you have imagined is not separate from you, it is you. The world you experience is simply the outpicturing of your inner state, and as you shift inwardly, the outer must follow. There is no power outside of you that grants or withholds. You are the operant power, the only creator in your world. What you assume as true hardens into fact. Every experience, every event, every so-called coincidence is merely the shadow of your inner consciousness taking form. Nothing happens by chance, nothing is random. there is an exact correspondence between the state you occupy within and the world you see without. So then, what does it mean to be ready for your miracle? It means to walk as though you have already received it. It means to feel with certainty the joy, the relief, the gratitude of having it now. Do not wait for the evidence before you believe. Belief is the cause, and evidence the effect. To say, "I will believe it when I see it," is to put the cart before the horse. For all things are first seen within before they are ever seen without. You must persist in this knowing, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. When doubts arise, do not entertain them as if they have power. Acknowledge them, but do not dwell on them. They are merely remnants of the old state, the fading echoes of a past assumption. They hold no power unless you choose to give them life. Every great manifestation in history, every so-called miracle, has followed this exact pattern. Those who received did so because they first knew within themselves that it was already so. They did not waver, did not question, did not wait for external confirmation. They assumed the feeling of their wish fulfilled and rested in that assumption, allowing the unseen to take shape. Your miracle is not far. It is not something distant, not something you must struggle for. It is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. The only question is, are you willing to accept it now? Are you willing to cast aside doubt, fear, and the illusion of time, and instead step fully into the certainty of your desire? Are you willing to assume that it is done, even before the world has conformed to show you its truth? You do not need to manipulate circumstances, to force things into place, to figure out how your miracle will come to be. The means are not yours to determine. Your only task is to occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. When you do this, the bridge of incidents will unfold before you in ways you could never have planned or anticipated. People, events, and circumstances will rearrange themselves to bring your assumption into reality, for the world is but a mirror, reflecting back the state you dwell in most persistently. Think not of your miracle as something that must be earned. It is already given, already complete. The moment you conceived it, it was finished. Your task is only to accept it, to live in the end, to feel the reality of it now, and to refuse to entertain anything that contradicts this truth. If you seek healing, do not wait to feel whole. Assume that you are already healed, that your body is already renewed, and let your consciousness dwell in that state. If you seek abundance, do not act from a place of lack. Walk as though wealth already surrounds you, as though you are already provided for in every way. If you seek love, do not look outward for validation. Know that love is already yours, that you are already cherished, already deeply connected. You cannot serve two masters, you cannot hold two opposing beliefs at once. If you affirm your miracle, yet dwell in doubt, you delay its unfolding. If you persist in the knowing that it is done, the world has no choice but to yield. Time is an illusion, and all things exist now. Your assumption, if held unwaveringly, collapses time and brings the unseen into view. The longer you entertain doubt, the longer you delay. But the moment you fully surrender to the truth of your desire's fulfillment, the moment you let go of needing proof and instead live as though it is already yours, you step into the miraculous. There is no effort needed beyond this, no struggle, no striving, no pleading. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in potential, waiting only for your assumption to call it forth. The world is your canvas, your imagination the brush. What you choose to see, what you choose to believe, is what will be painted upon your reality. You are not bound by circumstances, by past failures, by the seeming limitations of the physical world. The only thing that limits you is your own belief, and belief is entirely within your control. Change what you believe, and the world will change to match it. So, be as the one who has already received. Speak as though it is already done. Move through your day with the quiet confidence of one who knows their prayer has already been answered. Let gratitude fill your heart. not as a plea, but as a natural response to the certainty of fulfillment. Your miracle is now. It is unfolding in perfect order, in divine timing, in the exact way that is most natural for you. You need only to accept, to trust, to remain faithful to the vision within you. The world is responding. The unseen is becoming seen. What once seemed impossible is now inevitable. Stand firm in your knowing. Hold fast to your assumption. Live in the end and let the world catch up. The promise is unfolding, and your miracle is already here. The world you see is but the reflection of the world within you. It has always been so, and it will always be so. The conditions of your life, the people you meet, the circumstances you find yourself in, all of it is simply the outpicturing of your inner state. If you desire to change the world around you, there is no need to manipulate external conditions, no need to strive, no need to push or pull at reality. The only work is within. Every transformation, every miracle, every shift in experience begins first in the unseen realm of imagination. The moment you accept this, the moment you stop looking outside for confirmation and instead look within for certainty, your world must change. It is law, and it is unerring. What you accept as true within must express itself without. It is not a question of if, it is only a question of when, and the when is determined by the intensity and persistence of your assumption. Many falter not because they do not believe, but because they do not persist. They plant the seed of their desire, but instead of letting it take root, they dig it up with doubt. They wonder when it will happen, how it will come to pass, if they are truly worthy of it. But the seed does not need your interference. It only needs your trust. A farmer does not stand over his crops and demand that they grow fast. He does not pull at the roots to check if they are sprouting. He plants, he waters, and he trusts. He knows that the laws of nature are certain, that the harvest is inevitable. So it is with your desires. The moment you assume them to be true, the moment you dwell in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the process has begun. There is nothing more to do but persist in that state, to refuse to be shaken by appearances, to rest in the knowing that it is done. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the vision, to walk in the certainty that what you have imagined is already yours. To those who say, "But I do not see it yet," I ask, where are you looking? Are you looking to the world of form, the world of effects, to tell you what is real? Or are you looking within, to the world of cause, where all things begin? The unseen is the reality, and the visible is merely its shadow. If you wish to change the shadow, you must first change the light that casts it. There is no such thing as an idle thought. Every thought you entertain, every assumption you accept, every feeling you dwell in is shaping your world. It does not matter whether you are conscious of it or not. Creation is always happening. You are always imagining something, always assuming something, always believing something, and whatever you persist in, whether wanted or unwanted, will harden into fact. If you wish to receive your miracle, you must become conscious of what you are habitually imagining. You must take control of the inner conversation that runs ceaselessly in your mind. Are you speaking as one who has already received? Are you thinking from the end, feeling from the end, living from the end? Or are you allowing old patterns of doubt, fear, and lack to dominate your inner world? You do not need to beg or plead for your desire to manifest. You do not need to convince anyone, to prove anything, to seek permission from the world. All you need is to believe that it is already yours, to rest in the certainty that the unseen is just as real, if not more real, than the seen. The world is fluid, malleable, shaped entirely by your consciousness. The moment you fully accept this truth, you will see the evidence of it everywhere. Some will say, "But my circumstances are too difficult, the facts are against me, the world tells me it is impossible." But what are circumstances but the reflection of past assumptions? What are facts but the crystallized beliefs of yesterday? If you continue to accept the present conditions as unchangeable, then you will remain bound by them. But the moment you withdraw your attention from appearances and fix your mind upon the unseen reality of your wish fulfilled, The outer world must conform. It may not happen in the way you expect. It may not come through the channels you anticipate. But that is not your concern. The how is never your concern. Your only task is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption, no matter what. The world will rearrange itself in ways you cannot foresee. Doors will open where there were none before. People will appear at the right time, in the right place, speaking the right words. Opportunities will arise seemingly out of nowhere. These are not accidents, not coincidences. They are the natural outworking of your assumption. But do not falter when the bridge of incidents begins to unfold. There may be moments when it seems as though nothing is happening, moments when circumstances appear to contradict your assumption. Do not be deceived by appearances. The delay is only an illusion. The old must fall away to make room for the new. What you see as obstacles are merely the necessary steps in the unseen process of fulfillment. If you persist, if you refuse to waver, if you remain steadfast in your knowing, then your desire must take form. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to strive. Your miracle is not something to be chased. It is something to be received. It is already yours, already complete, already done. The only requirement is that you align yourself with it, that you make it real in your imagination before it becomes real in the world. Live as though you have already received it. Feel the relief, the joy, the gratitude. Let your inner state be one of already having rather than one of waiting. Waiting implies separation, and separation delays the manifestation. But the moment you accept that it is already so, the moment you move from desire to fulfillment, from longing to possession, the world must bend to reflect your new state. If you knew beyond all doubt that what you have imagined is inevitable, how would you live? How would you think? How would you speak? Would you still entertain fear? Would you still question? Would you still wait for the world to show you proof before you believed? Or would you walk with confidence? This is the secret to receiving. It is not about forcing, not about effort, not about struggle. It is about knowing. Knowing that the promise is already kept. Knowing that what you have imagined is not a future possibility but a present reality. Knowing that the unseen is just as real, if not more real, than the seen. And when you know this, when you live from this state, the miracle must come. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match the conviction you hold within. It is law, it is inevitable, it is done. There is no force outside of you that determines what you can or cannot have. The only power is within, and it is your own consciousness. Every limitation you believe in is a self-imposed one. Every obstacle you perceive is but the projection of your own inner doubts. The moment you release those doubts, the moment you choose to accept only the truth of your fulfilled desire, everything changes. The world you see is not fixed, it is fluid, a mirror responding to your assumption. So long as you continue to look to the outside world for confirmation, you remain bound by it. But the moment you turn within, the moment you claim your power as the creator of your experience, you break free. You are not here to be ruled by circumstances. You are here to rule them. You are not a victim of fate. You are its master. The only thing required of you is to accept this truth and live by it. Many will say they understand this, yet they continue to waver. They imagine their desire fulfilled, but then they question, they doubt, they check their circumstances to see if there is any evidence. When they do not see immediate proof, they allow fear to creep in. They allow their old assumptions to regain control, and so they remain stuck in the same cycle, wondering why their desire has not yet appeared. But faith does not waver. Faith does not need proof. Faith knows that what is held firmly in the mind must externalize itself in due time. The seed that is planted does not instantly bear fruit, but the process has begun. It is growing beneath the surface, unseen but inevitable. And just as no farmer digs up his crop in impatience, no conscious creator should doubt the unfolding of their assumption. If you were to completely abandon every doubt, every worry, every thought of separation from your desire, how quickly would it manifest? The only thing that stands between you and the realization of your miracle is the persistence of your old beliefs. But the moment you truly let go of them, the moment you rest entirely in the certainty that your wish is already fulfilled, time collapses and the unseen becomes seen. There is nothing to force. You do not need to chase, to beg, to struggle. You need only to embody the state of fulfillment, to carry yourself as one who already possesses that which they desire. The feeling is the secret. If you would only take on the feeling of already having, already being, already experiencing that which you seek, the world would rush to make it so. But so many hold themselves back. They hesitate to fully step into the assumption of their wish fulfilled because they are still bound by the evidence of their senses. They are still conditioned by past experiences, by the limitations they have accepted as real. But what is real? Is it what the world shows you now, a reflection of past states of consciousness? Or is it what you claim within, that which you assume and persist in regardless of appearances? To receive your miracle, you must shift your sense of reality. You must no longer see your desire as something distant, something that may or may not happen, something you must wait for. You must see it as now. You must know that the moment you accept it in consciousness, it is done. This is not mere wishful thinking. This is not fantasy. This is the fundamental nature of reality. Everything in this world, everything you have ever experienced, was once only a thought. The house you live in, the clothes you wear, the relationships you have, the very life you are living, all of it was once unseen, merely an idea, an assumption that became form. And if you examine your own life, you will see that this has always been true. The moment you fully accept something as true, the world shifts to match it. This has always been the case, whether you were conscious of it or not. But now, knowing this truth, you can use it deliberately. You can choose in every moment to dwell in the reality you prefer. Your miracle does not require effort. It does not require struggle. It requires surrender, the complete and total acceptance that it is already done. When you reach this state, there is no more questioning, no more seeking, no more doubt. There is only certainty, a deep and unshakable knowing that what you have imagined is real, and that the world must reflect it. And when you arrive at this knowing, you will see it happen. You will watch as the world bends to meet you. The people, the circumstances, the opportunities, all of it will arrange itself perfectly. You will look back and realize that nothing was ever out of place, that everything was unfolding precisely as it needed to. Even what once seemed like obstacles will be revealed as stepping stones, necessary movements on the path to your fulfillment. Do not fear the unfolding. Do not resist the process. Your only job is to remain faithful to the vision, to persist in the knowing that your desire is already yours. It does not matter if the world has not yet shown you proof. It does not matter if appearances contradict it. Those who receive are those who persist in their knowing despite all else. Think now of the thing you desire most. See it in your mind, not as something distant, not as something hoped for, but as something already here. How does it feel to have it? How does it feel to know it is yours? Dwell in that feeling. Let it take root within you. Let it become your natural state. Carry yourself as the one who already has it. Speak as though it is already done. Think from the place of fulfillment, and as you do, reality will conform. The unseen will become seen. The promise will unfold before your very eyes. There is nothing more to do. There is nothing more to wait for. The time is now. The power is within you. The miracle is already here. All that remains is for you to accept it. You have been told that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This is not a poetic statement. It is the foundation of creation. Faith is not hoping that something will happen in the future. It is knowing beyond all doubt that it is already so. It is not a desperate wish, nor is it blind optimism. Faith is the quiet, unwavering conviction that what you have conceived in your imagination is already a reality. And yet, many falter because they allow the outer world to dictate their beliefs. They look around and see only what has been, only the reflections of past states of consciousness. They measure their progress by what their senses tell them, instead of standing firm in what they know to be true within. But the outer world is always a step behind. It is always the product of a previous assumption. If you wish to change it, you cannot wait for confirmation from it. You must believe before you see, not after. Your imagination is the blueprint of reality. Every great achievement, every so-called miracle, every breakthrough has first been imagined before it became visible. The law is simple. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, persist in that assumption, and the world must conform. It is not a question of if, it is only a question of when. But the moment you entertain doubt, the moment you waver, you delay your manifestation. When you question, when you wonder if it is really working, when you look to the world for validation, you are stepping out of the state of fulfillment and back into the state of lack. And the world, being nothing more than a mirror, reflects that lack back to you. If you would hold to your assumption, if you would refuse to be moved by appearances, if you would dwell only in the feeling of already having, already being, already experiencing, your desire would take form with absolute certainty. It is law, and it does not fail. The mistake so many make is thinking they must struggle, they must work hard, they must prove themselves worthy of their desires. But the truth is far simpler. You do not receive what you work for, you receive what you assume to be true. The one who effortlessly assumes abundance will always have it. The one who assumes struggle will always struggle. The one who assumes love will always find it. The one who assumes rejection will always encounter it. It is never about effort. It is about the state you occupy. If you would simply dwell in the state of your wish fulfilled, if you would make it real in your imagination and feel it deeply as though it were already here, the world would have no choice but to make it so. Nothing is denied to the one who persists. Nothing is impossible for the one who refuses to accept the limitations imposed by the senses. The moment you decide to see with the eyes of faith instead of the eyes of fear, the moment you choose to believe in the unseen more than you believe in what is currently visible, you will step into the miraculous. And do not think that this applies only to some and not to others. The law is universal. It does not favor one person over another. It is as impartial as the law of gravity. It does not ask whether you are deserving, whether you have worked hard enough, whether you have waited long enough. It simply responds to your assumption. If you believe that miracles are rare, they will be rare for you. If you believe that what you want is difficult to attain, it will be difficult. If you believe that you must struggle and strive to achieve anything, that will be your experience. But if you believe that the unseen is just as real as the seen, if you accept that your desires are already fulfilled the moment you claim them, then the world must conform to this knowing. Your work is not to manipulate circumstances. It is not to force things into place. Your only work is within, to assume, to believe, to feel, and to persist. The how does not matter. The when does not matter. The only thing that matters is your certainty. And what does it mean to be certain? It means you no longer ask, you no longer wonder, you no longer question, you rest in the knowing that it is done. You carry yourself as the one who already has it. You feel the relief, the gratitude, the joy as though it were already here. And when you do this, time collapses and the unseen becomes seen. But so many get caught in the trap of waiting. They tell themselves that they will believe once they see the first signs, that they will feel grateful once they receive. But this is not the way of creation. You must feel now. You must assume now. And if you do, if you truly live from the end, if you refuse to entertain anything that contradicts your desire, you will see the world transform before you. The doors that once seemed closed will open effortlessly. The obstacles that once stood in your way will dissolve. The opportunities you once thought were impossible will appear as if by magic. But it is not magic. It is simply the outpicturing of your own state of consciousness. This is the secret that has been known by all who have ever achieved the seemingly impossible. It is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is not chance. It is law. And the law is as simple as this. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Persist in that feeling, and it must become your reality. It is already done. The moment you accepted your desire and imagination, it was finished. Your only task now is to remain faithful to this truth. Do not waver. Do not allow appearances to deceive you. Do not let doubt take root. Simply know that it is done, and let the world prove it to you. And when the world does, when you look around and see the evidence of what you once only held in imagination, you will realize that you have always had the power. You will understand that creation is finished, that all things already exist, and that you need only to align yourself with that which you seek. So walk as the one who already has it. Speak as the one who already knows. Think from the place of fulfillment. And as you do, watch as the miracle unfolds before your very eyes. It is inevitable. It is law. It is done. You are the cause and the world is the effect. The moment you truly grasp this, the moment you understand that nothing comes into your experience except through your own assumption, you will no longer be at the mercy of circumstances. You will no longer wait, you will no longer doubt, and you will no longer question. You will simply know, and in that knowing, you will rest. You will move through the world with a quiet confidence, an inner stillness that is unshaken by appearances. You will cease looking for signs, for you will understand that signs follow. They do not precede. You will no longer ask how, for you will understand that the how is not your concern. The bridge of incidents will unfold in its own perfect way, and all you must do is remain faithful to the state of fulfillment. But so many cannot let go. They hold tightly to their old assumptions, clinging to the belief that they must struggle, that they must earn, that they must prove themselves worthy. And as long as they believe this, the world will reflect it. It is not that the universe withholds, it is that they have not yet claimed what is already theirs. Nothing is being kept from you. There is no force that decides whether or not you receive. The only thing that determines what you experience is what you persist in assuming. And the moment you assume something different, the moment you choose to occupy a new state, the world must shift to match it. Some will say, but I have imagined my wish fulfilled and yet I see no change. But to this I ask, have you truly persisted? Have you truly remained faithful? Or have you allowed doubt to creep in? Have you in moments of frustration slipped back into the old state? Have you entertained the thought, even for a moment, that maybe it is not working? For if you have done so, you have delayed your manifestation. The law does not fail, but it demands unwavering persistence. It demands that you hold to your assumption no matter what the outer world shows you. It demands that you refuse to be moved by anything except the truth you have accepted within. And if you would do this, if you would stand firm in your knowing, if you would dwell only in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you would see the evidence unfold before you. You would witness the outer world rearrange itself to reflect your inner conviction. But the waiting mind asks when. The doubting mind asks how. The fearful mind asks what if. And each of these questions only serves to reinforce the idea that your desire is not yet yours. Each moment spent in waiting is a moment spent in lack. Each moment spent in doubt is a moment spent in separation from your miracle. You must let go of time. You must let go of process. You must let go of every thought that suggests that your desire is something far away, something uncertain, something that requires effort. It is already done. it is already complete, it is already here. And when you fully accept this, when you no longer look to the world to confirm it, but instead move through life as though it is already so, you will see how swiftly reality bends to meet you. The miracle is not in the manifestation itself. It is in the moment you shift your consciousness to accept it as already real. The manifestation is merely the inevitable result of that shift. But those who dwell in fear will see reasons to fear. Those who dwell in doubt will find reasons to doubt. Those who expect difficulty will encounter obstacles at every turn. The world does not test you. It only reflects you. It only gives you back what you are conscious of being. If you wish to see change, then change within. Assume a new state, occupy a new consciousness, feel a new feeling, and as you do, the world will mirror it back to you with precision. It cannot do otherwise. This is why struggle is unnecessary. This is why effort is futile. The moment you accept that you are already the person you wish to be, the world will confirm it. The moment you move from wanting to having, from seeking to knowing, from hoping to certainty, the thing you desire will come to you effortlessly. But you must make a firm decision. You must choose once and for all to live from the end. You must decide that your wish is not something you will one day experience, but something that is yours now. And once you have made this decision, you must refuse to entertain anything that contradicts it. Do not speak of delay. Do not dwell in frustration. Do not look to the world for validation. Simply assume, feel, and persist. Walk through life with the quiet assurance that what you have claimed within will soon be visible without. And when it happens, when you see it unfold before you, you will not be surprised. You will not be in awe. You will not marvel at how it came to be. You will simply nod in quiet knowing. For you will understand that it could not have been otherwise. The world is responding to you now. The process has already begun. The only question is, will you persist? Will you refuse to waver? Will you stand in your conviction no matter what appears before you? For if you do, if you hold fast to your assumption with absolute certainty, then nothing in the world can keep your miracle from you. It is already yours. It has always been yours. And the moment you fully accept this truth, it will be made manifest. You must remember that creation is finished. Nothing is being formed in the future. It already exists in its entirety, waiting only for you to step into the awareness of its reality. The only thing that separates you from your desire is the belief that you are separate from it. The moment you accept that it is already yours, the illusion of time collapses, and the world moves to bring it into your experience. The mind, conditioned by the senses, struggles to grasp this truth. It wants evidence. It wants proof. It wants the world to change before it believes. But this is not how creation works. You must first believe. You must first accept. You must first assume. The outer world is always secondary, always a reflection, always an effect. The cause is within you, and it has always been within you. Think not of your miracle as something far away, something that is coming to you. Think of it as something already here, something already yours, something you are now aligning with. The moment you shift your perspective in this way, the waiting ceases and the receiving begins. You have never lacked anything. You have only ever lacked awareness of what is already yours. The moment you recognize that you and your desire are one, that you are not separate from it, that you do not need to earn it, fight for it, or struggle to attain it, the world will move in ways beyond logic to deliver it into your hands. The mind may resist this. It may try to pull you back into old assumptions, old fears, old doubts. But you must hold fast. You must persist. You must remind yourself, moment by moment, that you are already the person you wish to be, that you already have what you seek, that the world is merely catching up to your new state of being. And when you feel the urge to check, when you feel the impulse to look for proof, remind yourself that the proof is within you. The outer world will only ever reflect what you have accepted within. If you wish to see change, you must first embody that change internally. If you wish to experience a miracle, you must first believe in its inevitability. Nothing in the world is more powerful than your assumption. No obstacle, no circumstance, no history, no so-called limitation can override the simple law that what you assume to be true will be made real. The only thing that delays your miracle is the wavering mind, the divided attention, the unwillingness to fully commit to the reality you desire. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to explain yourself. You do not need to seek validation from the world. The moment you claim your desire as already fulfilled, the moment you decide that it is done, you have set a process into motion that cannot be stopped unless you choose to stop it. And so you must live in the end. You must embody the feeling of already having. You must speak as though it is done, act as though it is done, move through life with the quiet certainty that it is done. And as you do, the world will shift to match your conviction. But many hesitate. They allow themselves to be swayed by appearances. They allow the outer world to dictate their inner state. But this is not how the law works. The world does not change first, you do. And when you do, when you assume your desired reality as your present reality, the world must reflect it. There is nothing complicated about this. There is no force outside of you deciding whether or not you are worthy. There is no external judge determining what you can or cannot have. There is only your assumption, your belief, your conviction. You are already that which you seek. The moment you stop looking outside yourself, the moment you stop waiting for signs, the moment you decide to see yourself as already in possession of your desire, the world will confirm it. And when it happens, when your assumption hardens into fact, you will realize that it was never about the manifestation itself. It was always about you. It was always about your ability to hold faith in the unseen, to persist in the face of doubt, to claim what was already yours. The greatest barrier to receiving is the illusion of waiting. The belief that you must wait implies that what you desire is separate from you, that it is not yet yours. But the truth is that it has always been yours, and the only thing that can keep it at a distance is the assumption that it is distant. You must assume now, you must feel now, you must walk in the reality of your fulfilled desire now. And when you do, the world must bow to your assumption. And so the question remains, will you persist? Will you hold firm in your knowing? Will you refuse to be moved by appearances, by time, by the illusion of separation? For if you do, your miracle will not be something hoped for. It will be something experienced. It will be something lived. It will be something undeniable. The choice has always been yours. It will always be yours. And the moment you choose to accept your desire as already fulfilled, the world will make it so. And so, the truth remains unchanged. You are the creator of your experience, the master of your reality, the operant power in your world. Nothing stands between you and the fulfillment of your desires except the belief that something does. The moment you cast aside doubt, the moment you cease looking to the outer world for validation, the moment you claim your miracle is already yours, it must come to pass. There is no waiting, there is no struggle, there is no force outside of you that must grant you permission. You are not bound by circumstances, by history, or by the opinions of others. The only thing that determines what you experience is what you assume to be true. And so, will you persist? Will you hold to the reality of your wish fulfilled, even when the world suggests otherwise? Will you choose in every moment to live from the end, to embody the feeling of already having? For if you do, there is no power in existence that can keep your miracle from you. The promise is unfolding. The unseen is becoming seen. That which was once only imagined is now making its way into form. Walk in confidence, in certainty, in quiet knowing. For it is done, it has always been done, and the moment you accept this fully, the world will rush to show you what has always been yours. There is a hidden power within you, a force so great that it can shape reality itself. It is not found in the stars, nor in the hands of fate, but in the deep well of your own imagination. Whatever you seek, whatever you long for, is already yours, if only you dare to believe it so. The secret is not in waiting, not in hoping, but in knowing. You must live as if the answer has already come, walk as if the path is already clear, and rejoice as if the victory is already won. Faith is not a passive state. It is the most creative act of all. It is the unwavering conviction that what is unseen is more real than what is before your eyes. It is not enough to wish, nor even to pray with longing. One must assume with absolute certainty that what is desired is already present. This is the key, the great mystery that turns dreams into reality. The world you experience is but a reflection of your own inner state. Change that state, and the world around you will move to match it. What would it feel like if your prayers were already answered? If the love you seek was already yours? If the wealth you desire was already in your hands? If the success you long for had already been achieved? Can you summon that feeling now, in this very moment? For if you can, you have unlocked the door. This is not a matter of chance, but of law, an unbreakable principle that governs the unseen forces of life. Believe that it is done, and it will be done. Step into the reality of your fulfilled desires and watch as the world bends to meet you there. To truly manifest, you must abandon the old habits of doubt and fear. You cannot ask for something while holding on to the belief that it is out of reach. You cannot pray for abundance while seeing yourself as lacking. You cannot seek love while feeling unworthy of it. The world responds not to your words, but to the state of being you dwell in. The moment you shift your awareness to the fulfillment of your desires, they must materialize. It is not enough to visualize, nor to speak affirmations in an empty ritual. You must embody the feeling of having received. When you close your eyes, do you feel the warmth of love surrounding you? Do you sense the freedom of financial abundance? Do you carry yourself as someone who already possesses all they have asked for? If you do, then the law is in motion. If you do not, then you must persist until the feeling becomes real within you. You must live each moment in the joy and certainty that your desire has already found you. When you wake in the morning, step into the day as the person who already possesses their dream. When you walk, walk as one whose heart is full of gratitude for the answered prayer. When you speak, let your words reflect the truth that it is already done. The universe does not delay in responding. It mirrors your deepest convictions instantly. What you accept as true within will become your truth without. The greatest barrier to manifestation is not the outside world, but the resistance within. Doubt is the voice of a mind still trapped in the illusion of separation from its desire. Fear is the whisper of an old self unwilling to let go of limitations. The mind will argue, it will seek evidence of lack, it will try to convince you that you must struggle. But you must be steadfast. You must refuse to give power to anything but the vision of your fulfilled desire. If you desire love, then be love. If you seek abundance, then radiate abundance in thought and action. If you yearn for success, then carry yourself as one who has already triumphed. The energy you put forth is what you receive in return. This is not a theory nor a philosophy. It is the law by which all things are made manifest. The universe does not play favorites. It simply reflects what you deeply believe to be true. The reason so many fail to see their desires fulfilled is not because they lack the power, but because they surrender to doubt before the miracle unfolds. They plant the seed but dig it up in impatience. They declare their wish, but then undo it with thoughts of fear and lack. The law does not work on hesitation, it works on conviction. You must hold fast to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, unwavering, unshaken, until it hardens into fact. This is not the way of the world, which teaches that you must see before you believe, but in truth you must believe before you see. Your external circumstances are the echoes of your internal state. If you persist in seeing yourself as small, the world will confirm it. If you walk in the assumption of greatness, life will rise to meet you there. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. It is you, always you, shaping your experience by the reality you choose to accept. Do not concern yourself with how things will unfold. The mind, bound by logic and reason, will try to force solutions, will attempt to map out the details, will demand proof. But the great secret is that you do not need to know the how. You need only dwell in the knowing that it is already done. The path will form itself. The means will come in ways you could not have foreseen. The world will shift to accommodate the assumption you have made. Every great transformation in life begins in the unseen. The tree exists within the seed before it breaks through the soil. The masterpiece exists in the artist's mind before the brush ever touches the canvas. The invention is real in the inventor's imagination before it takes physical form. Likewise, your answered prayer is real the moment you claim it as so within you. So, live now as though the dream has already been realized. Rejoice now as though the blessing is already in your hands. Love now as though you are already surrounded by the warmth of everything you have ever wished for. For the truth is, you are. The only thing that stands between you and your desire is the belief that there is a distance at all. Remove that illusion and you will see you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer. There is no delay in the fulfillment of your desire except the delay you place upon it, with doubt, hesitation, and disbelief. The moment you accept that what you desire is already yours, reality begins to shift in accordance with your belief. But you must not waver. You must not look to the world for validation before you believe, for the world is merely a mirror reflecting back the state you hold within. Every great achievement, every miracle, every transformation has followed this one principle. Live as though it is already done. There is no other path, no secret formula beyond this. Those who have risen from obscurity to greatness did not wait for the world to grant them permission. They assumed their success, they walked in the certainty of their destiny, and the world adjusted to their belief. To live in this way is to move beyond the limitations of the physical senses. The senses will try to deceive you, to tell you that you're still lacking, still waiting, still hoping. But your senses are merely the echoes of past assumptions. They do not define the future unless you allow them to. If you believe only in what you see, you remain bound to what has been. But if you believe in what you have imagined, if you claim it as real, then what has been will dissolve, and what must be will come forth. The law of manifestation is not about effort. It is not about forcing, struggling, or striving. It is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in that assumption. It is about dwelling in the end result, not in the process, not in the obstacles, not in the seeming delays. The moment you shift your focus from longing to knowing, from wishing to being, everything changes. Most people live in the constant state of waiting, waiting for a sign, waiting for circumstances to shift, waiting for something outside of them to give them permission to believe. But waiting is nothing more than the absence of faith. To wait is to assume separation from your desire. To wait is to tell the universe that you do not yet have what you seek. And so you remain waiting. But the one who lives as if their prayer is already answered never waits. They move, they speak, they breathe in the certainty that what they have asked for is already theirs. You do not become wealthy by waiting to see money in your hands. You do not become loved by waiting for another to prove their devotion. You do not become healthy by waiting for symptoms to disappear. You become all of these things by assuming them to be true now, by feeling within yourself the joy, the freedom, the peace that comes with already possessing them. If you wish to manifest love, you must first become love. You must carry yourself as though you are already cherished, already adored, already deeply valued. You must not seek love from a place of emptiness, for the world will only reflect that emptiness back to you. Instead, you must embody the fullness of love within yourself, and in doing so, love will be drawn to you effortlessly. If you wish to manifest wealth, you must no longer think in terms of lack, you must no longer speak of struggle nor entertain thoughts of limitation. Even before the physical evidence arrives, you must walk in the consciousness of abundance. You must feel as one who has more than enough, who is generous, who is free. Money is not a thing to be chased, it is a frequency to be aligned with, and that frequency is not one of desperation, but of certainty. If you wish to manifest success, you must no longer dwell in fear or hesitation. You must no longer ask if you are capable, if you are worthy, if you are enough. You must assume the identity of one who has already achieved what they desire. You must move through life with the confidence and authority of someone who knows that their success is inevitable. For as long as you question, you delay. But the moment you claim, the moment you know, the moment you embody your success, it begins to unfold before you. This is not a philosophy of wishful thinking, nor an illusion to escape reality. It is the very nature of creation itself. Every great visionary, every pioneer, every leader throughout history has understood this truth, whether they spoke of it or not. They did not rise by waiting. They did not rise by seeking proof before they believed. They rose because they believed first, and the world had no choice but to conform. The mind will resist this at first. It will say, "But I do not see it yet. How can I act as if it is already done when my senses tell me otherwise?" This is where faith begins. Not blind faith in something outside of you, but faith in your own divine power to create. You must silence the mind's arguments and lean entirely into the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not try to force belief. Instead, relax into it. Dwell in it. Let it become so real in your imagination that you can no longer tell the difference between what is seen and what is felt. And when doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not fight them. Simply return to the feeling of already having what you seek. Do not wrestle with old thoughts, for what you resist you strengthen. Instead, shift your attention back to the reality you choose to inhabit. The more you do this, the more natural it will become. And soon, what was once only imagined will begin to manifest in ways so seamless, so effortless, that it will seem as though it was always meant to be. There is no limitation except the one you impose upon yourself. The universe does not judge your desires, does not weigh them as possible or impossible. It simply reflects back to you what you assume to be true. If you assume limitation, you will see limitation. If you assume abundance, you will see abundance. The choice is always yours. You must take nothing personally in this world, for all of it is simply a projection of the self. If you see lack, look within and ask where you have assumed lack to be true. If you see rejection, ask where you have rejected yourself. If you see struggle, ask where you have believed that struggle is necessary, and then shift, choose anew, assume differently, and watch how quickly the reflection changes. You are not separate from your desires. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the creator, the master, the divine force shaping every aspect of your reality. And the moment you step into this truth, the moment you claim your power with unwavering certainty, nothing will be withheld from you. Live now as though you already have all that you have asked for. Move now as though every prayer has been answered. Speak now as though you stand in the reality of your fulfilled dreams. And if you do this, truly, fully, completely, then you will never again wonder if manifestation is real. You will know because you will have lived it. There is no waiting in creation, there is only being. To wait implies that your desire is distant, that it exists somewhere outside of you, that time must pass before you can have it. But what if time were an illusion? What if distance were nothing more than a trick of the mind? What if, instead of waiting, you simply stepped into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled? You must understand that the moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it is done. The world you see, the circumstances you believe to be real, are but the shadows of past assumptions. They have no power except the power you continue to give them. If you wish to step into a new reality, you must withdraw your attention from what is and place it entirely upon what you have declared to be. Look at your life now, at the things you experience daily. Each one of them is the outpicturing of a past belief. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you accepted these circumstances as true, and so they became true. But what was once assumed can be assumed again, differently, with greater intent. And the moment you shift that assumption, reality must shift with you. It is not a matter of hoping or wishing. It is not about asking the universe to grant you something outside of yourself. You are not a beggar at the doorstep of creation. You are the creator, the authority, the one who declares what is real. Do not fall into the illusion that you must earn or prove your worthiness. Worthiness was never in question. The only question is, what will you assume to be true? If you truly believed that your desire was already fulfilled, how would you act? How would you think, speak, move? Would you still worry, still doubt, still second-guess your ability to receive? No. You would carry yourself differently. You would move with confidence, with peace, with a quiet certainty that all is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the state you must occupy, not just for a moment, but persistently, unwaveringly, until it becomes second nature. Your imagination is the blueprint of your reality. What you hold in your mind's eye as real will be made real. There is no exception to this. The only reason so many fail to see their desires manifest is that they continue to waver. One moment they believe, the next moment they question. One day they affirm their desire is done, the next they look for evidence, and finding none, they doubt. This back and forth keeps them stuck in a loop of delay. But you will not do this. You will stand firm. You will live as though the world has already conformed to your desire. You will carry yourself as though your success is inevitable, because it is. You will walk with the knowing that what you have imagined is more real than what you see before you. And in doing so, what you see will change. This is not about pretending. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing which reality you will accept. There are infinite possibilities, infinite versions of you existing right now. The only question is, which version will you align with? The moment you decide, the moment you shift into that state, you will notice the world around you begin to respond. Doors will open where before there were none. People will appear, opportunities will arise, events will unfold in ways you could not have predicted. But they will not come because you chased them. They will come because you became the version of yourself who already has them. They will come because you aligned with the state in which they naturally exist. You are never separate from what you seek. The idea that you must struggle, that you must prove yourself, that you must work tirelessly before you can receive, this is the greatest illusion of all. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists. Your only task is to claim it. To claim it means to dwell in the feeling of already having it. It means to let go of needing, longing, or hoping. It means to rest in the absolute certainty that it is done. Do not concern yourself with how it will come to pass. The how is not your responsibility. The moment you try to control the how, you step out of faith and back into doubt. Your only task is to remain in the state of fulfillment. If ever you waver, if ever you feel doubt creeping in, return to the feeling. Remind yourself that the world is only a reflection. Do not be fooled by appearances. They are temporary, malleable, subject to the power of your assumption. And so you must live now as the person who has already received. You must think from the place of your fulfilled desire, not of it. Do not look at your desire as something in the distance. Step into it now. Let it become real within you. If you desire wealth, stop thinking of yourself as someone who is striving for it. Assume the consciousness of wealth now. Feel the freedom, the ease, the confidence that comes with financial abundance. Speak as one who has already received. Do not speak of lack. Do not entertain thoughts of struggle. The more you focus on not having, the more you reinforce the state of lack. If you desire love, cease looking for it outside of yourself. Become the embodiment of love. Feel as though you are already cherished, already adored, already surrounded by deep affection. Carry yourself as one who is already in the perfect relationship, and as you do, love must find you, because you have aligned with it. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the identity of someone who is unwell. Assume the state of perfect health. Feel yourself whole, strong, vibrant. Your body is a servant to your mind. It will reflect what you assume to be true. There is nothing outside of you that has power over you. No condition, no circumstance, no force greater than your own belief. The only reality that matters is the one you choose to accept. The only truth that exists is the one you declare as real. You may look around and say, "But I do not see it yet." And I tell you, the moment you see it, it is no longer creation. Creation happens in the unseen, in the assumption, in the knowing before the evidence appears. The evidence is always the last to arrive. It is the shadow of the belief that preceded it. Do not be swayed by appearances. Do not let the world tell you what is possible. You are the one who defines possibility. You are the one who shapes the world. If you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, nothing can stop its manifestation. Let go of doubt. Let go of waiting. Let go of the illusion that you must struggle. Step into your power. Step into your knowing. Live now as though everything you have asked for is already here. For if you do, you will soon discover the greatest truth of all, that you were never separate from your desires to begin with, that what you sought was always seeking you, that you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer, and the moment you finally accept this, the moment you finally believe, the world will have no choice but to bow to your assumption and deliver to you the life you have claimed as your own. There is no force outside of you deciding what you can or cannot have. There is no external power determining when or if your desires will come to pass. The only authority in your world is your assumption, what you accept as real, what you believe without question, what you feel is true even before the evidence appears. This is the key to all manifestation. The moment you truly grasp this, you will stop waiting for life to change and start living as the master of your reality. You must not allow yourself to be moved by appearances. The world you see is not solid, not fixed, not unchangeable. It is fluid, responsive, obedient to your inner state. What you experience today is merely the crystallization of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. But just as a river flows and changes course, so too can your reality shift the moment you decide it must. Most people believe they are subject to external conditions, that life happens to them, that they must react to whatever is placed before them. But this is a falsehood, an illusion, that keeps them bound to circumstances they do not wish to experience. The truth is that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are not here to be a spectator, you are here to be the creator. And so you must decide what you will accept as real. If you continue to see yourself as separate from your desires, you will remain separate from them. If you continue to act as though you are waiting, you will continue to wait. If you continue to seek validation from the external world before you believe, you will remain trapped in the cycle of delay. Instead, you must assume the state of the wish fulfilled. You must live from it, not toward it, not reaching for it, not hoping for it, but from it. This means feeling now as you would feel if your desire were already yours. This means thinking, speaking, and acting in accordance with the reality you have chosen. When you close your eyes, do you feel the joy of already having what you desire? Do you feel the relief, the peace, the certainty? Or do you still feel the longing, the separation, the waiting? If the latter, you must shift. You must make the feeling real within you, for what is real within must become real without. There is no effort required beyond the effort to remain faithful to your assumption. The moment you accept something as true, the world begins to rearrange itself to match that truth. But you must not waver. You must not contradict your assumption with doubt, fear, or hesitation. You must hold fast to your vision, even when the world seems unchanged. Think of the seed planted in the soil. The gardener does not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. He knows that growth is inevitable, that the process is already underway. He trusts that the unseen forces are working to bring forth the harvest. So too must you trust in the unseen power within you. Your assumption is the seed. The moment you plant it in consciousness and nourish it with unwavering belief, it must bear fruit. Do not concern yourself with time. The mind, bound to the illusion of linear progression, will try to impose deadlines, will try to measure progress, will try to dictate how and when things should unfold. But manifestation does not operate on human schedules. It operates according to the law of assumption, which knows only certainty, not time. If you say, "I will have this some day," you have placed your desire in the future, and so it will remain in the future. If you say, "It is already mine," you claim it in the present, and the present must shift to reflect that claim. Do not wait for the world to change before you change. Change within, and the world will follow. Your emotions are the signal that tells you what state you are in. If you feel anxious, uncertain, doubtful, you are in the state of not having. If you feel calm, fulfilled, grateful, you are in the state of having. And what you persist in feeling, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is not enough to simply visualize or affirm your desire. You must feel it real. You must walk as though it is already done. You must breathe as though the thing you long for has already arrived. The universe does not respond to empty words. It responds to the frequency of your being. If you desire wealth, do not entertain thoughts of lack. Do not count pennies with a sense of desperation. Instead, embody the energy of abundance. Feel as though you have more than enough. Move through life with the certainty that you are financially secure, and as you do, wealth will be drawn to you in ways you cannot predict. If you desire love, do not seek it from a place of loneliness. Do not ask, "When will I find someone?" for in doing so you affirm that love is missing. Instead, feel as though love is already surrounding you. Carry yourself as one who is cherished, adored, deeply connected. And as you do, love will reveal itself effortlessly. If you desire health, do not identify with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the mindset of struggle. Instead, assume the state of perfect well-being. Feel yourself strong, vibrant, whole. Let that feeling become more real to you than anything the senses may suggest. And as you do, the body must align with the new assumption. There is no force outside of you deciding whether or not you are worthy. There is no test you must pass, no permission you must seek. The only requirement is that you believe. And belief is not something you wait for, it is something you choose. When you claim something as yours in consciousness, reality must catch up. When you persist in the assumption, when you refuse to entertain anything but the fulfillment of your desire, when you move as though it is already done, the world has no choice but to reflect your conviction. Many will tell you that change is difficult, that success requires struggle, that you must fight and toil to achieve what you want. But those who say this do not understand the law. They do not realize that effort in the external world is unnecessary when the internal world is aligned. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in potential. Your task is not to force it into being, but to step into the version of yourself where it is already real. And when you do, when you truly accept that you are already living in the reality you desire, the outer world must shift to match it. And so you must not wait another moment. You must not delay your assumption by seeking proof before you believe. The proof will come after you believe. The change will appear after you have assumed it to be real. You must live now in this very moment as though all you have asked for is already yours. You must walk with the assurance that the answer has already been given. You must speak with the confidence of one who knows that their desire has already materialized. You must think, feel, and move in the certainty that the unseen is more real than what is seen. For when you do, When you persist in this state, when you hold firm to your vision with unwavering faith, there will come a moment, sudden, effortless, inevitable, when the world shifts and you will look around and realize that what was once only imagined has become your reality. And in that moment you will know beyond all doubt that you were never separate from your desires, that what you sought was never outside of you, that it was always waiting for you to assume its reality. And the moment you did, it had no choice but to appear. You must not allow your current circumstances to dictate your belief. What you see before you is nothing more than the after-image of old thoughts, old assumptions, old states of being. If you judge reality based on what appears in the moment, you remain trapped in a cycle of repetition, recreating the same experiences over and over again. But if you dare to look beyond appearances, if you dare to accept that what you assume to be real will become real, then you will understand that nothing is fixed, nothing is beyond your power to change. You must walk each day in the absolute conviction that your desire has already been fulfilled, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You must speak as one who already possesses all that they have ever longed for. You must carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their dream is not on its way, it has already arrived. The world responds to certainty, not hesitation. If you ask tentatively, if you approach life with an attitude of if only or I hope, then the world will reflect that uncertainty back to you. But if you assume with absolute conviction, if you declare within yourself that it is already done, the world will mold itself to that belief. Your task is not to figure out how your desire will come to pass. That is not your concern. The moment you begin to analyze, to strategize, to question whether it is possible, you introduce doubt, and doubt delays. The how is never your responsibility. Your responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to remain there undisturbed by appearances, unaffected by time, unwavering in faith. There will be moments when the world seems unchanged, when reality appears to contradict your assumption. But this is merely a test of your persistence. Most people falter here, allowing fear to creep in, allowing old doubts to reclaim their minds, but not you. You will remain steadfast. You will understand that the external world must take time to reflect the shift that has already occurred within you. And so you will stand firm in your knowing, regardless of what the senses may suggest. If you wish to be free, you must think only from the perspective of freedom. If you wish to be loved, you must feel yourself already loved. If you wish to be abundant, you must walk in the state of abundance now, even if the world tells you otherwise. You cannot wait for proof. You cannot wait for evidence before you believe. You must believe first, and the evidence will follow. Do not allow the mind to wander into questions of when or how. These are distractions, obstacles placed before you by an old way of thinking. Instead, anchor yourself in the feeling of already having received. Live in that feeling so completely that it becomes your new normal. Let it be the first thing you feel upon waking and the last thing you feel before sleep. Let it be so real to you that the world has no choice but to conform. Most people fail to manifest because they attempt to hold two conflicting states at once. They affirm their desire while still identifying with its absence. They speak of abundance while still feeling lack. They visualize success while still fearing failure. And in doing so, they remain in limbo, neither moving forward nor remaining still. You must not make this mistake. You must choose one state and abide in it fully. You are not bound by past failures, by former limitations, by old stories you have told yourself. At any moment you can step into a new state. You can release every doubt, every fear, every lingering sense of unworthiness, and you can claim your birthright as the creator of your reality. The power has always been yours. The only thing required is that you accept it. Creation is not about force. It is not about effort. It is not about struggling to make something happen. It is about relaxing into the knowing that it is already done. It is about surrendering to the truth that what you have imagined is as real as anything you can touch, hear, or see. It is about moving with the assurance that the world is already aligning itself to match your assumption. There is nothing to chase, there is nothing to earn, there is nothing to prove. You need only be. Be the person who has already received. Be the one who no longer questions. Be the one who no longer waits. The moment you step into that being, the moment you take that identity as your own, the world will shift to confirm it. If you wish to see a change in your life, you must first become that change. If you want to experience joy, you must become joy. If you want to experience love, you must become love. If you want to experience success, you must become success. The external world will never give you what you are unwilling to assume as already yours. You must not waver when others question you. You must not look to the world for reassurance. The world will always reflect back to you what you most deeply believe. If you demand proof before you assume, you will wait forever. But if you assume without needing proof, proof will come. There is no difference between the great and the ordinary except in what they accept as true. The great do not wait for the world to confirm their success. They assume it, and the world falls into place. They do not ask whether they are worthy. They know they are, and the world mirrors that knowing. They do not hope for opportunities. They expect them, and so they appear. You must do the same. You must rise each day in the certainty that your dream is already real. You must act not from a place of wanting, but from a place of already having. You must speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. And when the world begins to shift, when the people, the circumstances, the opportunities begin to move in ways you could never have predicted, you will not be surprised, you will not be in awe, you will not marvel at the sudden transformation. You will simply nod in quiet assurance, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have understood the greatest truth of all, that life has never been happening to you, it has always been responding to you. And now you finally know how to command it. You are the master of your reality. There is no external power, no unseen force deciding your fate. The only law that governs your life is the law of assumption. What you believe to be true must become true. There is no exception, no loophole, no special circumstance that can override this law. It is absolute, unwavering, and always working, whether you realize it or not. Look at the life you are living now. Every event, every relationship, every condition is a reflection of what you have previously assumed to be true. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you have accepted certain beliefs, and the world has dutifully mirrored them back to you. If you have experienced struggle, it is only because at some level you have accepted struggle as part of your story. If you have faced rejection, it is because you have unknowingly assumed yourself to be someone who can be rejected. If you have lived in lack, it is because you have believed in lack. But just as easily as you once assumed struggle, rejection, or lack, you can assume ease, love, and abundance. The power to write your story is always in your hands. It does not take time. It does not require effort. It requires only that you shift your awareness, that you step into the state of already having that which you desire. Most people go through life allowing circumstances to dictate their state of mind. They wait for things to change before they allow themselves to feel joy, success, or fulfillment. But this is backward. The world does not change first, you do. The moment you decide that you are already the person you wish to be, the moment you dwell so deeply in that state that it becomes your natural way of being, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. You must stop thinking of your desires and start thinking from them. There is a vast difference between the two. To think of your desire is to see it as something separate, something distant, something you must still work toward. But to think from your desire is to assume it is already yours. It is to feel the relief, the satisfaction, the absolute knowing that what you have wished for is already a part of your reality. What will it feel like if you already had everything you have ever asked for? Close your eyes and dwell in that feeling. Let it take over your being. Let it replace every doubt, every fear, every thought of separation. For as long as you remain in that state, it must manifest. The world must shift to match your new assumption. Do not waver. Do not let appearances deceive you. If you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up the next day to see if it is growing. You trust that the process is unfolding, that unseen forces are at work bringing your vision to life. So too must you trust in the power of your own assumption. The moment you claim something as yours, it is yours. The world may take time to catch up, but your only task is to remain faithful to your new reality. This is not wishful thinking. This is not pretending. This is the truth of how creation works. Everything you experience is the direct result of your state of being. Change the state, and the experience must change with it. Most people make the mistake of reacting to the world instead of creating it. They see lack and assume it is real. They see obstacles and assume they must fight against them. But the wise do not react. They create. They assume the feeling of already having what they desire, and they let the world rearrange itself accordingly. You must do the same. If you desire wealth, stop affirming that it is coming and start assuming that it is already here. If you desire love, stop seeking it outside of yourself and start embodying the feeling of already being loved. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness and start dwelling in the certainty of perfect well-being. And when the world begins to change, when circumstances shift, when opportunities arise, when what once seemed impossible suddenly unfolds effortlessly before you, you will not be surprised. You will not doubt. You will not marvel at your own power. You will simply nod, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have lived as though your desire was already yours, and in doing so, you will have made it so. There is nothing more to seek, there is nothing more to wait for. There is only the assumption, the unwavering belief, the feeling of already being the person you wish to be. And once you step into that state fully, completely, without hesitation, the world will yield to you. It will reshape itself in your image. It will bring to you all that you have claimed as yours. Because the greatest secret is this: you were never separate from your desires. They have always been within you, waiting for you to assume them as real. And the moment you do, they will be. You now hold the key. You now understand that the world is not something you must struggle against, not something you must beg for, not something you must wait on. The world is your mirror, reflecting back only what you assume to be true. So, what will you assume from this moment forward? Will you continue to see yourself as someone who is waiting, longing, hoping? Or will you step boldly into the knowing that everything you desire is already yours? Will you walk as one who has already received, who no longer questions, who no longer seeks, but simply is? This is your moment of decision. This is the moment where you stop letting life happen to you and start commanding it from within. Live now as though all your prayers have been answered. Move now as though the reality you once dreamed of is already here. Breathe now as though nothing is missing, as though nothing has ever been missing. For the truth is, nothing ever was. You were never separate from your desires. You were never unworthy. You were never powerless. You were always the creator, the authority, the force that shapes reality itself. And now, knowing this, you can never go back to living as though you are anything less. Go forth not in hope, but in certainty. Go forth not as a seeker, but as one who is already found. Go forth and live as if God has already answered, because He has.